Hello, I'm Andrea Liffler, and I wanted to share my story about manifesting miracles. I was born in Oklahoma, and I was, in my childhood, had a lot of abuse. And as I grew up, once I became an adult, I married a person who was also very abusive. No surprise there. That's what abused people do. If you take abused children out of an abused home, they still long for the person that abused them, which is a lot of times a parent. And so that's pretty normal. I know that now because I've done a lot of work. I've learned a lot about domestic violence, and I've taken care of a lot of victims. And so I understand the normalcy of that. And so after I grew up, it just seemed like everything just had to be hard, and abuse was normal. And that's what I had a lot of until one day, about 4 years ago, I was just sitting there and I was thinking, I don't like this. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to have these friends that do this stuff to me. I don't want to do this. And I finally realized that I didn't have to do that. And so that's what part of the miracle was. It was just coming to that realization. And so I don't know if any of you have watched the movie The Secret, but I came into contact with that, and it really just changed my life. It's also, they have a couple of different books out with that. But what I learned was that when I was coming from that kind of victim standpoint, I was on the lookout for, I got to make sure nobody hurts me, nobody abuses me. And so what I realized that I missed looking back is I missed a lot of good opportunities of where people would help me, and I'm sure they did. There were a lot of people that helped me. And I think there were a lot more people than I realized that helped me, because I just was in this mindset of everybody's trying to hurt me. And so what I see now, what happens more now, I put myself this mindset of everybody loves me. The universe is a kind and just place. And that is more and more what I see. And so, for example, I'll go to work and I'll talk to myself and have that in my mind. And then what happens is I'm a nurse, and so the patients that I take care of, I bond with them much more. And I call more of those good things into my life. And so just with that realization that I had of, okay, it really doesn't have to always be awful. And on some levels, growing up in the 80s, we were taught all these afternoon specials of you have to work really hard for it and things have to be hard. And we do have to work hard for some things, but not the level to which I was working hard for things. And I was definitely making it a lot harder than it needed to be. And now that I know that, I actually truly am manifesting miracles. One example is that around that time I was working at this hospital, and it was really difficult to work there. And I kind of just put myself through that because I didn't want to quit. I wanted to be loyal. I wanted to just stick it out. Well, around that time, that whole realization came to me, and I decided, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to be put through this. I'm not going to work in this place for this amount of money. And I put my 2 weeks notice in. And then the next thing that came up that was about 6.5 hours away from home. The next thing that came up was about an hour and a half away from home, and it paid more. And so that was all from my mindset of, no, I'm not accepting that anymore. And so that has really changed my life, and it just has made everything so much better. And now I feel like in some ways I manifest those miracles every single day. Every day something else comes up, and partially it's because I'm looking for that instead of looking for, being on the defense and worrying that people are going to hurt me. And so I hope this has inspired you. There really are great things out there. Have a great day, guys.